Life often confronts us with the undeniable reality that people come and go. We form bonds, nurture connections, and sometimes anchor our emotions to those relationships, believing they will last forever. Yet, the moment those ties are broken or strained, we are left grappling with a weighty emotional burden. How do you cope when someone no longer holds the same space in your life, or when you discover that they never invested in the connection as deeply as you did? These questions often lead us to ponder, how can I stop caring? Or is it truly possible to detach emotionally without losing a part of myself? This is where the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, particularly the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, can illuminate a path forward. Stoicism was not about denying emotions or becoming unfeeling. Rather, it emphasized understanding emotions, balancing their influence, and reclaiming personal power to act with clarity and inner peace. Emotional detachment, according to Stoic wisdom, does not mean becoming indifferent. Instead, it is a process of regaining control over our inner state by accepting reality as it is. In this extended exploration, we will delve into 5 timeless Stoic principles, drawing heavily on Marcus Aurelius's insights to learn how to emotionally detach from someone. These aren't abstract theories, but practical, actionable guidelines designed to reshape how you engage with yourself and others. Rule 1. Understand the impermanence of life. Marcus Aurelius poignantly stated, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." When it comes to emotional attachments, we often cling to our narratives, our perception of someone's role or importance in our lives. However, the Stoic truth is that all relationships are inherently transient. One moment you're inseparable, the next they're distant or gone, whether due to physical separation, death, or the gradual erosion of intimacy. Accepting this impermanence is the first crucial step toward emotional detachment. Think of relationships like sand held in your hand. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips through your fingers. Clinging to a false sense of permanence only amplifies the pain of loss. In my own life, I once had a close friendship that lasted over a decade. We shared our dreams, fears, and countless late-night conversations. Over time, however, the dynamics changed. Despite my efforts to preserve our bond, the emotional distance between us grew. It wasn't until I embraced the Stoic principle of impermanence that I could release the weight of that unreciprocated connection. Marcus Aurelius would remind us to accept that things will end, and in doing so, suffer less when they do. By embracing this truth, we shift our focus to appreciating the present moment instead of futilely clinging to what cannot last. Rule 2. Master your emotions through rational thought. There's a tendency to feel enslaved by emotions, pain, sadness, or anger, especially when emotional attachments are severed. However, Stoicism teaches us that emotions are not the ultimate truth, but a product of our thoughts and interpretations. Marcus Aurelius believed in the power of the mind to govern our responses, writing, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Emotional detachment begins by recognizing that your thoughts shape your feelings, not the other way around. Imagine you've recently gone through a breakup. It's natural to feel shattered and endlessly replay conversations in your head, asking what went wrong. The Stoic approach is to step back and assess the facts. What are the objective truths? What are you projecting onto the situation? Instead of feeding emotional turmoil, choose thoughts that calm the storm within. In a personal instance, I once sent a heartfelt message to someone I deeply cared about. Hours passed without a response, and my mind spiraled. Did I say something wrong? Are they angry? Do they even care? The anxiety snowballed, but when I applied Stoic reasoning, I reminded myself the only fact is that they hadn't replied. Everything else was speculation. The next day, I discovered they had been caught up in their busy schedule, completely unaware of my emotional storm. Marcus Aurelius's advice to question your thoughts proved invaluable. By challenging the narratives I had created, I diffused the emotional intensity and found clarity. Rule 3. Practice negative visualization. At first, negative visualization might seem counterintuitive. Why imagine the loss of something or someone you care about? Doesn't that amplify the fear and pain? On the contrary, this Stoic exercise, championed by Marcus Aurelius, is a powerful tool for cultivating emotional resilience. By preparing your mind for worst-case scenarios, you reduce their emotional sting if they ever occur. Imagine someone you're deeply attached to. Visualize what life would look like without them. While this might evoke discomfort or sadness, it's a crucial step in building inner strength. I remember a time when my closest friend was considering a move overseas. The thought of their absence was unbearable, but I began practicing negative visualization. Each day, I pictured myself adapting to their absence, creating new routines, and finding joy in unexpected places. When they eventually moved, I was better prepared to cope with the loss. Negative visualization is not about pessimism, it's about realism. Life is unpredictable, and clinging to illusions of permanence only sets you up for deeper pain. By imagining loss, you not only prepare for it, but also cultivate a greater appreciation for what you have in the present. Rule 4. Focus on what you can control. One of the most empowering Stoic teachings is the distinction between what is within our control and what lies beyond it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have control over your thoughts, actions, and responses. Everything else, the actions of others, outcomes, and external events, is beyond your influence." This principle is vital when emotionally detaching from someone. Consider a relationship where you've poured your energy into trying to influence how someone feels about you. Perhaps you've gone out of your way to prove your worth, only to feel frustrated and powerless when they don't reciprocate. The Stoic approach is liberating. Shift your focus to what you can control, your actions and self-worth. By doing so, you free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of trying to change what's outside your reach. In one of my past relationships, I was caught in a cycle of overcompensating, constantly striving to keep things intact. No matter how much effort I put in, it felt like I was always falling short. When I embraced Stoic wisdom, I stopped trying to control their feelings and focused instead on reclaiming my emotional autonomy. This shift allowed me to let go of anxiety and rediscover my sense of inner peace. Rule 5. Reflect on the bigger picture. When caught in the throes of emotional turmoil, it's easy to lose sight of life's greater context. Marcus Aurelius' writings remind us that our fears, desires, and pain are fleeting moments in the vast expanse of time. By adopting a broader perspective, emotional detachment becomes more achievable. Ask yourself, will this heartbreak or conflict matter in 5 years? Does this person define my entire existence? Stoicism encourages us to see life as an interconnected web of experiences. Relationships are important, but they are just one chapter in your greater story. Recognizing this can help you disentangle yourself from the tunnel vision that emotional attachment creates. I once endured a breakup that felt like the end of my world. For weeks, I fixated on the past, convinced that life had lost its meaning. Over time, as I reflected on the bigger picture, I realized that while the relationship was significant, it was not the sum total of my life. This broader perspective helped me emotionally detach and move forward. Ultimately, emotional detachment is not about shutting yourself off from the world. It is about understanding life's impermanence, mastering your emotional responses, and cultivating resilience. By applying Stoic principles, you learn to let go of what you cannot control and embrace the present with clarity and peace. In doing so, you free yourself from the weight of unnecessary suffering and discover the strength to navigate life's inevitable changes with grace.